Himself, thank you for coming and enjoying.
Thank you.
Well, I guess that's that. I haven't been here for a while. My name's Tom Waselchuk. Pre-pandemic, that's the last time I was here. And it's good to be back. And in order to keep warming up here, I'm just going to start out with a couple of tunes that allow me to get warmed up in a reasonable fashion. The water, I'll tell you that it's water. I've been a working musician all of my life, and I love having people perform with me. So, if you know any of the words or melodies of songs, I want to make you feel free to sing along with me. And you may, in all probability, you will at least know these first couple of songs. I'm going to start out with a medley of Hank Williams' senior songs, and you can feel free to warm up your voices and sing along with me too. So, me, 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 me. You. Okay, 3 Hank, let's see. Why don't you love me like you used to do? What makes you treat me like a worn out shoe? My hair's still curly, my eyes are still blue. Why don't you love me like you used to do? Ain't had no loving like a hugging and a kissing in a long, long while. We don't get nearer or further or closer than a country mile. Why don't you spark me like you used to do? Say sweet nothings like you used to coo. I am the same old trouble that you've always been through. Why don't you love me like you used to do? Why don't you be just like you used to be? How come you find so many faults with me? Somebody's changed, so let me give you a clue. Why don't you love me like you used to do? Ain't had no loving like a hugging and a kissing in a long, long while. We don't get nearer or closer or further than a country mile. Why don't you say the things you used to say? What makes you treat me like a piece of clay? My hair's still curly and my eyes are still blue. Why don't you love me like you used to do? Hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about a cooking something up for me? I say, hey, sweet baby, don't you think maybe we could find us a brand new recipe? I got a hot rod Ford and a $2 bill, and I know a spot right over the hill. There's sody pop and the dancing street. If you want to have fun, come along with me. I said, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up for me? Steady company. There's no more looking. I know I've been tookin'. How's about spending all your time with me? I'm gonna throw my date book over the fence. Buy me one for 5 or 10 cents. I'll keep it till it's covered with age. I'm writing your name on every page. You say, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? of gun, you're gonna have big fun on the bayou. Oh, jambalaya, fish pie, and filet gumbo. For tonight I'm gonna see my share of me-o. Pick guitar, fill the jar, and the gay-o. Son of gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou. Tippy-toe, fountain, oh, the place is buzzing. Kinfolk come to see Yvonne by the dozen. Dress in style, go hog wild, and be gay-o. Son of gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou. Oh, jambalaya, crawfish pie, and filet gumbo. For tonight I'm gonna see my share of me-o. Big guitar, fill the jar, and the gay-o. Son of gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou. Jambalaya, crawfish pie, and filet gumbo. For tonight I'm gonna see my share of me-o. Pick guitar, fill the jar, and the gay-o. Son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou. Son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou. So I didn't quite get warm enough in that room. So I just came out of the restroom where I had my hands under hot water for about a minute and a half. It feels much better. Oh, give me land, lots of land under starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please. Don't fence me in. Just turn me loose. Let me straddle my old saddle underneath the western sky. On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountains rise. I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences. Gaze at the moon till I lose my senses. I can't look at houses and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in. Don't fence me in. Don't fence me in. Don't fence me in, just turn me loose. Let me straddle my old saddle underneath the western sky. On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountains rise. I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences. Gaze at the moon till I lose my senses. I can't look at houses and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in. Don't fence me in. Don't fence me in. Now, many years ago, when I was 23, I was married to a widow who was pretty as can be. His His widow had a grown-up daughter who had hair of red. My father fell in love with her, and soon the two were wed. That made my dad my son-in-law and changed my very life. Now my daughter was my mother, 'cause she was my father's wife. To complicate the matter, even though it brought me joy, I soon became the father of a bouncing baby boy. Now I'm my own grandpa. I'm my own grandpa. It sounds funny, I know, but it really is so. I'm my own grandpa. This little baby then became a brother-in-law to Dad, and thus became my uncle, though it made me very sad. For if he was my uncle, then that also made him brother to that widow's grown-up daughter, who of course was my stepmother. Then father's wife then had a son that kept him on the run, and he became my grandchild, 'cause he was my daughter's son. My wife is now my mother's mother, and it makes me blue, 'cause although she is my wife, she's my grandmother too. I'm my own grandpa. I'm my own grandpa. It sounds funny, I know, but it really is so. I'm my own grandpa. Grandmother, then I'm her grandchild, and every time I think of it, it nearly drives me wild. But now I have become the strangest case you ever saw. As husband to my own grandmother, I'm my own grandpa. Now I'm my own grandpa. I'm my own grandpa. It sounds funny, I know, but it really is so. I'm my own grandpa. Okay, so I'm getting to the age where I'm not taking up new projects. I had a band that's played here in Oregon several times over the years. It was called the Dangits. It was sort of an Americana country band. And we did our last performance last June, and so I'm a little less busy than I used to be, you know, no big deal. But a couple of years ago, since I've been playing lots of different kinds of music, I've collected songs like the last one that I just did that are kind of funny. Some are funny, clever, some are funny, insane, some are funny, just crazy. But I thought to myself, well, what could I do? How could one more project, a solo project. I don't have to get any rehearsals in or any with other people. So I called up several performance venues that I know, that I have contacts with, and I said, listen, I have a solo music comedy act. Would you like to hire me? Now at this time I didn't have a solo music comedy. I just had a bunch of songs. I thought if somebody bites on this line that I'm throwing out there, I will put something together. Well, sure enough, I said, yes, we'll hire you. So then it was incumbent on me to collect my songs and learn a few new ones, actually, to fill up a couple of hours at a time. And so that's what I've done. I've got one more scheduled in April. I don't know, that might be the last one. But I can do a few tunes from that show for you today, along with some other things. And this one, I'll start out with this one because it's easy and it's also a sing-along once I get around to the part that you will recognize. And then I'll do some other ones that I haven't done since the last show, which was back in October. We'll see how I do well on those, because I haven't been practicing. Anyway, that's a little background as to why you will hear some songs that you may wish you never hear again. It was a long time ago. A second lieutenant named Spears returned to the States after being overseas 3 years. His wife said, "Welcome home, dear. But since you've been gone, you see, we've been blessed with this darling baby. And a cute little thing is he." He took that baby in his arms. She said, "Benny is his name." He said, "I've been gone away 3 years, darling. Can you please explain? So I won't feel so dumb. Tell me, where did little Benny come from?" Every time he'd ask, she'd say, "Benny's from heaven." He'd get mad, she'd repeatedly say, "Benny's from heaven." So he asked all the neighbors who'd come around. No one could seem to remember Benny coming down. Now about a little thing like that, I wouldn't ask, I wouldn't bother. The one thing I know about children, they've got to have fathers. And when I look at Benny, I can plainly see that Benny must be from heaven, 'cause he darn sure ain't from me. Every time it rains, pennies from heaven. Yeah, you know this one. Don't you know each cloud contains pennies from heaven? You'll find your fortune falling all over town. Be sure that your umbrella is upside down. Trade it for a package of sunshine and flowers. Because if you want that sunshine, you've got to have showers. And when you hear it thunder, don't run under the tree. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and me. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and me. How am I doing so far? Good, I'd love to hear that. Let's see. Yeah, somebody plays guitar here, and you know the slang. It's called a capo. It's really called a capo, but it's a cheater. It is in fact a cheater. No, it's not a cheater. I play music with a lot of different people, including some jazz people who never put a capo on. You know, and I can, as you can see, I can get around on the swing and jazzy kind of chords, but to play a song like several that I've done, or like this one, there's the cheater allows you to get an open string kind of sound, and it sounds much more natural and better when you're doing folk music or country music or stuff. So people who say you're not a good guitarist if you need to use a cheater, that's bull. That's bull, man. That's bull. Don't you listen to those people. They don't know what they're talking about. All right, this is another song that I put together for the show. This one's a bit of a longer story. This is what I call this. Yeah, this one isn't insane, but it's clever, and it's called "The Preacher and the Flood." Well, it's a story of an old hard hard-shell preacher, sanctified in the blood. And about the time he had the year of the dreadful flood, it rained for 40 days and nights, till at last the dam gave way. The preacher fell down on his knees, and everybody heard him pray. He said, Lord, deliver me from the flood. Lord, you know I'm sanctified in the blood. I've been to the river and I've been baptized now. I raised my hands to the heavenly skies and said, Lord, deliver me from the flood. Now the preacher's sitting on his old front porch, rocking in his rocking chair. Water's rising step by step, licking at the very top stair. A neighbor come by in a rowboat, said, Preacher, you better come with me. Well, the preacher said, you can save yourself, but the Lord will deliver me. 'Cause the Lord will deliver me from the flood. Lord, you know I'm sanctified in the blood. I've been to the river and I've been baptized now. I raised my hands to the heavenly skies and said, Lord, deliver me from the flood. Well, by and by, that old river water come rolling in the preacher's door. So the preacher, he ran upstairs to his room on the second floor. A Coast Guard cutter come sailing by, said, everybody get on board. The preacher said, you can save yourself, 'cause I'm trusting in the Lord. 'Cause the Lord will deliver me from the flood. Lord, you know I'm sanctified in the blood. I've been to the river and I've been baptized now. I raised my hands to the heavenly skies and said, Lord, sorry, just my throat a little dry. Deliver me from the flood. Well, now the preacher's sitting on his rooftop, hugging to his old smokestack. Water's rising higher and higher. Things are looking mighty black. Along come a police helicopter and they lowered down the line. The preacher said he just waved them away, 'cause said, boys, I'm a-doing fine. He said, Lord, deliver me from the flood. Lord, you know I'm sanctified in the blood. I've been to the river and I've been baptized now. I raise my hands to the heavenly skies and say, Lord, deliver me from the flood. Now the preacher's standing at the pearly gates. His robe was a-dripping wet. The preacher says to the heavenly king, there's something I don't get. He said, Lord, why didn't you save me? I put all my faith in you. And God said, I sent you 2 boats and a helicopter. Now what more could I do? 'Cause the Lord will deliver you from the flood. But it'll be too late if you sit and wait for the heavenly angels up above. I'm here to tell you, sister and a brother, the Lord helps them that help one another, and the Lord will deliver you from the flood. Amen. Deliver you from the flood again. Deliver you from the flood. Scotsman clad in kilt left a bar one evening fair, and one could tell by how he walked that he drunk more than his share. He stumbled round until he could no longer keep his feet. then stumbled off into the grass to sleep beside the street. Ring-ding-diddle-diddle-I-ring-o, ring-ding-diddle-I-o. He stumbled off into the grass to sleep beside the street. About that time, two young and lovely girls just happened by. One says to the other with a twinkle in her eye, "Oh, see yon sleeping Scotsman, so strong and handsome built, I wonder if it's true what they don't wear beneath their kilt." Ring-ding-diddle-diddle-I-ring-o, ring-ding-diddle-I-o. I wonder if it's true what they don't wear beneath their kilt. They crept up on that sleeping Scotsman quiet as could be, lifted up his skirt about an inch so they could see, and there, behold, for them to view, beneath his Scottish skirt was nothing more than God had graced him with upon his birth. Ring-ding-diddle-diddle-I-ring-o, ring-ding-diddle-I-o. Was nothing more than God had graced him with upon his birth. They marveled for a moment, then they said, "We must be gone. Let's leave a present for our friend before we move along." As a gift, they left a blue silk ribbon tied into a bow. Around the bonny star the Scots kilt did lift and show. Ring-ding-diddle-diddle-I-ring-o, ring-ding-diddle-I-o. Around the bonny star the Scots kilt did lift and show. Now the Scotsman woke to nature's call and stumbles toward a tree. Behind a bush he lifts his kilt and gawks at what he sees, and in a startled voice he says to what's before his eyes, "Oh lad, I don't know where you've been, but I see you won first prize." Ring-ding-diddle-diddle-I-ring-o, ring-ding-diddle-I-o. Oh lad, I don't know where you've been, but I see you won first prize. I'm quickly figuring out here just exactly what kind of material you folks are really interested in. So I can do more. I can tilt that way. I can, and I will. But before I do, I'm going to sing a song about not a fairy tale, not a myth. It's I'm forgetting the word. Put the cheater on again. Take a drink of water. How's everybody doing today? Good. What are you going to do with the rest of your day? Go out and ice fish or something? I was down near near Monona Bay yesterday, and I saw all the ice fishing community. I thought to myself, is it really a community? Do they get together? Do they go out afterwards and hang out together? I don't think so, but ice fishing's not for me. In fact, fishing's not for me. But I can see if you want some solitude, maybe they're getting away from a husband or a wife for a few hours of the day where they can just sit in a shack and be quiet for a while. So this is I'm still searching for the word. It's like a fairy tale. It's called The Princess and the Frog. What would you call it?
A fable?
A fable, exactly. That's what it's called. Yeah. Let's see. Been a while. One day a beautiful princess was walking by the bog. On a slab of peat, who should she meet but Fred the talking frog? "Well, top of the morning to you, lass, hello, hello," cries he. "I'd be glad to know if you'd stop a mo and listen close to me. You see, I've been bewitched, and I'm needing a royal miss, such as your lovely self, to give this ugly mug a kiss. Such a metamorphosis will then ensue, I'll tell you true, for I'm really a former prince, and I'll straightway marry you. To me rightful, Johnny go there, and higgledy-piggledy down and around to me high and low. Harem and Scarum, riding our white horse to Cranberry Town to me toady, toady, Truman Capote, Faith and Picard. Driving to Sligo with Molly or Shea, or to dance by the sea with a red cup of tea on a bleary Sunday morning. Well, I've heard that song and that dance before. Says the princess, it's all fine, but if it's a kiss you're after, the chances are you'll have to stand in line. There's frogs outside me father's castle, frogs in the royal hall. Frogs is climbing up the chimney, frogs is bouncing off the wall. Frogs is floating on the moat and up the stairs and on the shelf. If I had to kiss every one of you, Jesus, there'd be no time for meself. So laddie, let's make it swift, for lady falls the hour, and I'm due back home for me evening shift of pining in the tower. To me rightful Johnny go there, higgledy-piggledy, down and around me high-low. Harem and Scarum, riding a white horse to Cranberry Town to me toady, toady, Truman Capote, Faith and Bagara, it's Maureen O'Hara. We're driving to Sligo with Molly O'Shea for the dance by the sea with a red cup of tea on a bleary Sunday morning. Well, she's just about to kiss him when Mrs. Frog comes hopping by, crying, Fred, you're late for supper. Coming, dear, was his reply. You mean he's not bewitched, the princess says. Just odd, says Mrs. Frog. And into kissing princesses he meets upon the bog. And though I love me Fred, I fear he chafes at family ties. I'd invite you home for supper, me dear, but we only have 2 flies. Thank God you didn't kiss him. This is your lucky day. Till I kissed Fred I was a princess too, that's how I got this way. To me rightful Johnny go there, higgledy-piggledy, down and around to me high-low. Harem and Scarum, riding a white horse to Cranberry Town to me toady, toady, Truman Capote, Faith and Bagara, it's Maureen O'Hara. Hark to the herald, it's Barry Fitzgerald. We're driving to Sligo with Molly O'Shea for a dance by the sea with a red cup of tea on a bleary Sunday morning. To me toady, toady, Truman Capote, Faith and Bagara, it's Maureen O'Hara. Hark to the herald, it's Barry Fitzgerald. All in a Volkswagen with Victor McLaughlin. We're driving to Sligo with Molly O'Shea for to dance by the sea with a red cup of tea on a bleary Sunday morning. For to dance by the sea with an LSD Timothy Leary Sunday morning. I'm going to depart for a moment from the silly numbers, the crazy numbers, and do another song written by that same composer. That was Michael Peter Smith from Chicago. And I'm going to do one of his better known songs. He was a tremendous songwriter. He just passed away 2.5, 3 years ago. And I'm going to sing what I think is one of the most beautiful love songs that I know. And when you've been in business for a while, you learn a lot of love songs. A very beautiful portrait of a couple and who are spending their final years, and she is a caregiver. It's called The Dutchman. It explains itself. The Dutchman's not the kind of man to keep his thumb jammed in the dam that holds his dreams in. But that's a secret only Margaret knows. When Amsterdam is golden in the morning, Margaret brings him breakfast, she believes him. He thinks that tulips bloom beneath the snow. He's mad as he can be, but Margaret only sees that sometimes. Sometimes she sees her unborn children in his eyes. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuyder Zee. Long ago, I used to be a young man, and dear Margaret remembers that for me. The Dutchman still wears wooden shoes, his cap and coat are patched with love that Margaret sewed in. Sometimes he thinks he's still in Rotterdam. He watches tugboats down canals and calls out to them when he thinks he knows the captain. Till Margaret comes to take him home again, through unforgiving streets that trip him though she holds his arm. Sometimes he thinks that he's alone and calls her name. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuider Zee. Long ago, I used to be a young man, and dear Margaret remembers that for me. Windmills whirl the winter in, she winds his muffler tighter and they sit in the kitchen. Some tea with whiskey keeps away the dew. He sees her for a moment, calls her name, she sees her for a moment, calls her name, she makes the bed up humming some old love song. She learned it when the tune was very new. He hums a line or two, they hum together in the night. The Dutchman falls asleep and Margaret blows the candle out. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuider Zee. Long ago, I used to be a young man, and dear Margaret remembers that for me. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuider Zee. Long ago, used to be a young man, and dear Margaret remembers that for me. Yeah, Michael Peter Smith. While I'm thinking of it, I brought along, since my band that I mentioned, the Dangits, is not working anymore, I have a little bit of inventory in CDs at home, and I'm not selling them today, I'm giving them away. I brought two CDs.
Listen to that! He's giving them away.
Yes, I think I deserve a medal too. Are you sure you don't want to stay and help with the show? I love a heckler.
Oh, you would get one.
I think I'm gonna go, that's where the party is. I'll see you guys later. Oh man. So anyway, I've got a bunch. You can take one of. I brought two today. One from the Dangits, and one from a show with the same band members. But I did I put together a show called Sweet Dreams and Honky Tonks, in which we showcased the music of Hank Williams and Loretta Lynn and Patsy Cline and Johnny Cash, and we performed all over the Midwest in theaters, small theaters, and it was a really fun show to do. And I have some, and you'll know every song on this record, and you may not know all of them on this one, but you'll love them all. So if you're still using 1990s and 2000 technology and have a CD player at home, I understand some of you might not, but please do take some CDs with you if you want to give some take some extras to give to friends, you can do that, okay?
I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, they're right here, and after the show, you go right up here and check them out. I didn't want to forget to mention that. Okay, so now I'm going back to I don't know what I'm doing here. This is one of the tunes I had heard before that I didn't know before I did put my comedy show together. When I was putting the show together, I called a few musician friends of mine who thought, what's the funniest song you know? Did you know any like really funny songs? And people had some good suggestions. This was not one of them. This was a horrible song I wanted to. But one guy said, Tom Lehrer. Remember Tom Lehrer? He did topically, politically oriented stuff in the 60s and 70s. And I listened to his stuff, and it was great stuff, but it was too specific to the time, and it didn't hold up well to the modern age. So it didn't hold up nearly as well as this song because, as you know, cockroaches never go out of style. This song is called "Cockroaches on Parade." Now that it's cold with the winds outside, they need a warm place to hide. Inside your walls, under the floor, the cabinet, behind your door. They get a drink inside your sink. They have a laugh under the bath. And when you go and turn your back, they like to sneak a little snack. Black flag decon, indoor sprays, fumigators by the score. Swat them, slap them, hammer them with raid, they come back for more. And in the darkest hour, just before the dawn, you can hear them singing some old love song. They wipe their feet on your lunch meat. They put their hands into your cans. They take their scraps into their laps. And then they dine upon your wine. Well, earlier today you hurried up to come on this big date, and after that, in your haste, you left a lot of dirty knives and forks and plates. And as you sit here listening to this stupid song, on your kitchen table there's a party going on. And when you get home late tonight, open the door, turn on the light, and you will see your wallpaper change. Those are cockroaches on parade. Oh man. Tasteless, perfectly tasteless. Do you have any questions or requests? Actually, I'm not great on requests, but I do know a few songs. Tell you what, we'll do something we can sing along with. Trailers for sale around, rooms to let 50 cents. No phone, no pool, no pets. I ain't got no cigarettes out of 2 hours of pushing broom by the 8th or 12th or big room. I'm a man of means by no means, king of the road. 3rd boxcar, midnight train, destination Bangor, Maine. Old worn out suit and shoes, I don't pay no union dues. I smoke old stogies I have found. Short, but not too big around. I'm a man of means, by no means. The king of the road, and every engineer on every train, all of their children, and all of their names, in every handout, in every town, and every lock that ain't locked when no one's around. I sing trailers or sailorette, rooms to let 50 cents. No phone, no pool, no pets. Ain't got no cigarettes out of the 2 hours of pushing broom. Eight, 12, 4-bedroom. I'm a man of means, by no means. King of the road. King of the road. King of the road. Thank you. I never studied classical music, but I love it, and I'm liking it more and more as I go on. But as a player, there's just not enough time in the day, is there? Can't do it all. But 5 years ago, right before the pandemic, wasn't that long ago, I was asked to play at a wedding by a cousin of mine who's a Lutheran preacher. And I have done that occasionally over my career, so I said, sure. And they wanted a Bach piece that you all know, Jesu, Joy of Man's Desire, you all recognize it, as the processional piece. Now, when you're playing a wedding, the protocol is that when the bride and groom finally get to the altar, you find a reasonable place to stop without sounding, like you're killing it. You just stop because your work is done. Well, Jesu is not a long piece, and I thought I would have a good amount of time to play it. I worked really hard, and I didn't really learn it as well as I should have, but I was going to give it the old college try. Well, as it turned out, the processional was like from that walker to this piano. So I got to play approximately 12 seconds of this piece, and I said to myself, I'm never going to play another wedding, because I don't know. There were several other songs where I was supposed to play during parts of the ceremony where it was the same thing. I worked really, really hard and only got to play snippets. But I loved the tune, I kept working on it, and any tune that's still around after 230 years is still around for a reason. And I hope my hands are warm enough now to play this. No guarantees about accuracy, but I'm just going to play it with your permission. You can just close your eyes and enjoy a beautiful melody. Thank you very much. This is completely a cappella. This is called Why Patty's Not at Work Today. Dear boss, I write this note to you to tell you of my plight. And at the time of writing, I am not a pretty sight. My body is all black and blue, my face a deathly gray. And I hope you'll understand why Patty's not at work today. I was working on the 14th floor, some bricks I had to clear. And throwing them down from such a height was not a good idea. The foreman wasn't very pleased, he was an awful sod. He said I'd have to take them down the ladder in me hod. Well, clearing all those bricks by hand, it seemed so very slow. So I hoisted up a barrel and secured a rope below. But in my haste to do the job, I was too blind to see that a barrel full of building bricks was heavier than me. So I went down and untied the rope, and the barrel fell like lead. And clinging tightly to the rope, I started up instead. I shot up like a rocket, and to my surprise I found that halfway up I met the bloody barrel coming down. Well, the barrel struck my shoulder as to the ground it sped, and when I reached the top, I hit the pulley with my head. I shot up like a rocket. I still clung on, though numbed and shocked from this almighty blow, while the barrel spilled out half its bricks 14 floors below. Now when these bricks had fallen from the barrel to the floor, I then outweighed the barrel, so I started down once more. Still clinging tightly to the rope, I headed for the ground, and I landed on those broken bricks scattered all around. As I lay moaning on the floor, sure I thought I'd passed the worst, but the barrel hit the pulley wheel, that's when the bottom burst. A shower of bricks came down on me, I knew I had no hope, and as I was losing consciousness, I let go the bloody rope. The barrel now being heavier, it started down once more, struck across me smartly as I lay there on the floor. It broke 3 ribs in my left arm, and I can only say that I hope you'll understand why Patty's not at work today. All right, what to do for my last couple of tunes, I have no idea. But I'll think of something. Oh yeah, I know what I'll do. This is a song by Mike Cross. It's been another tongue twister. You notice I've done a few of those already today. Songs that have given my tongue a workout. I don't know, I look around the room, I see a couple guys who probably are the kind of guys who never ask for directions when you're driving, right? You'll get there. This song is called Directions. Well, I was new in town, I just pulled in. I was looking for the house of a dear old friend, but just how to reach the place was still a question. So I stopped an old man on the street and I said, "Hey sir, excuse me please, but I wonder, could you give me some directions?" I told him the address. He said, "Yes, I know what you want to do, but I'm a little fuzzy-minded part of the time, so let me think this through." He began to mumble and scratch his chin, then he slapped his fingers, gave me a grin, and said, "Okay, son, here's all you got to do. Go north, take a left on South Right Street, go up the hill to Down Avenue, turn left at the corner of Circle Square, then right on the left Ridge Lane. Take a left-hand fork at Spooner Road, then Easy Avenue to Arden Boulevard, turn back to the left on the right foot street, then it's right back there on your left." Well, I did what he said as best I could, and I thought I was doing pretty darn good. I made every turn except the final one. But when I made the last turn on the drive, I swear I couldn't believe my eyes. I was right back at the place I'd started from. And there by the curb, feeding the birds with a smile upon his face, was that old man whose directions began my recent wild goose chase. I went up to him and I said, "Hey friend, could you give me those directions again?" He said, "Sure. Here's all you do to reach that place. Go on the north, take a left on South Right Street, go up the hill to Down Avenue, turn left at the corner of Circle Square, then right on to Leftridge Lane. Take the left-hand fork at Spooner Road, then Easy Avenue to Harbin Boulevard, turn back to the left on the right Front Street, then right back there on your left." Easy for you to say. Yeah. Boy, I did, but that's just what I did, I said, but I wound up back here instead of getting to the place I'm trying to find. And since I'm right here, all I can say is there must be some other way to get me to the place I had in mind. Well, he said, "No, the way you go is the way I told you to. And if this ain't where you want to be, well, there's nothing I can do. 'Cause that address you gave to me is right over there across the street. I can get you here, the rest is up to you. We'll go north, take a left on South White Street, go up the hill to Down Avenue, turn left at the corner of Circle Square, then right on to Leftridge Lane. Take a left-hand fork at Spooner Road, then Easy Avenue to Harbin Boulevard, turn back to the left on the right Front Street, then it's right down there on your left." Whether I'm pummeling you with crazy songs or not, whenever I do performances at for any senior centers, locations, etc., I like to end with this song. It's because it's a good sing-along. Everybody knows it, and it's a good way to say goodbye. Thanks for having me here today. It's been my pleasure to be here again. See, I actually recognize a couple of you people from the last time I was here. So that's good. Glad to see you're still around, still kicking. And I hope to come back sometime soon. And I'm currently playing with a band called the Honey Pies, and I'm going to see if we can get ourselves on the docket for the outdoor concerts here this summer. So watch for that. Anyway, sing along. Pardon me?
We'll be there.
Okay. So you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't make my sunshine away. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamed I held you in my arms. When I woke, dear, I was mistaken, so I hung my head and cried. Oh, my sunshine, my only sunshine, you make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Sunshine, you make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you.